Hi guys, it's Mark Zickery, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zickery of Space Command. A lot is going on right now, and over the next few Mr. Sci-Fi videos, I'm going to be letting you in on all the secrets, taking you behind the stage and showing you what's cooking and what you'll be seeing in the weeks and months and years ahead. So in the meantime, though, I thought it'd be really fun to show you a video that we've just put together that pitches the Showrunners Network, the project where I'm creating 6 new science fiction, fantasy, and horror shows with Rockne O'Bannon, Mark Ferguson, Hawk Ostby, Joe Dougherty, and hopefully the estate of Rod Serling. So what we do is to help make something tangible, particularly if it's got a lot of moving parts. I like to do a video. Since Dave Edison and I, work full-time together, he's part of Space Command Studios, and he's our editor, brilliant editor. I spent some time with him putting this together to basically say who Elaine and I are, what Space Command Studios is, and what the Showrunners Network is. And this is going to be shown, it's being shown now to agents, managers, network executives, etc. And this is exactly what they're going to see. I'm now going to let you see how we pitch TV series. So without any more delay, here is my pitch tape for the Showrunners Network. Hello friends, this is Mark Zickery, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zickery of Space Command, which is an exciting new show I've been shooting with my team. It's the first of a slate of 6 new shows I'm doing with some of the top stars and series creators in television. It's called the Showrunners Network, which we think will revolutionize how TV gets made, and you can be a part of it. My wife Elaine and I are writer, producer, directors, with hundreds of hours of TV credits for most of the major studios and networks. As well as best-selling books.
Mark is a unique guy because he has all the knowledge of the genre, and I think he guarantees new voices in filmmaking. I think it's incredibly necessary to do that.
Mark and I met on the set of Deep Space Nine, and we had a great time. We had immediate chemistry between the two of us. We've been friends ever since. You really can't talk about Mark unless you talk about Elaine. They are an incredible team. They work in tandem. They're both enormously gifted writers. They're very fortunate to have found each other because they help each other. Elaine has got one of the greatest hearts you'll ever meet. She's enormously sensitive to what you're going through, and she picks up on that enormously well. She's enormously kind, enormously talented, and she complements Mark perfectly.
Elaine and I are committed to telling powerful stories with believable characters that celebrate core decency, enduring courage, and hope.
So beautiful.
Our physical studio is in Hollywood, with a presence in London as well. There we've been writing and producing the miniseries Subversive, based on the memoir by current Member of Parliament Lord Peter Hain about his anti-apartheid peace activist family. Now that you know who we are, let's talk about the Showrunners Network. Now in television, a showrunner is the executive producer writer who's responsible for every creative and budgetary decision on a show. The buck stops with them. Often, they're also the creator of the show. Right now, there are over 500 scripted comedy and drama series on all the VOD platforms and networks here in the US. On average, it costs $20 million to promote a show just so the audience knows it exists. More and more, the networks and VOD platforms are using the executive producers and creators of the shows to promote new series in addition to the stars. And it occurred to me that having worked with many of the most brilliant series creators and TV stars in science fiction over the last several decades, that I could create the Showrunners Network, partnering and collaborating with these amazing talents. The first of our 6 series in the Showrunners Network is Space Command. Like Star Trek, it's a hopeful vision of the future that follows the lives of 4 families over 5 generations. Space Command stars Doug Jones of Star Trek Discovery and the Shape of Water, Robert Picardo of Star Trek Voyager, Stargate Atlantis, and the Orville, Mira Furlan of Babylon 5 and Lost, Bill Mumy of The Twilight Zone, Lost in Space, and Babylon 5, Bruce Boxleitner from Tron, Babylon 5, and Supergirl, Star Trek's legendary Nichelle Nichols, James Hong of Big Trouble in Little China and Blade Runner, wrestling legend John Hennigan of The Last Ship and Glow, Ethan McDowell of Doom Patrol, J.G. Hertzler, the great actor of Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Voyager, and Enterprise, and Mike Harney from Orange is the New Black, Project Blue Book, and For All Mankind.
I was really honored to be asked to become part of this project because, as with so many other things that he does, he's a pioneer along with Elaine. It takes tremendous courage and fortitude, and the way that they're doing it is very compassionate and very honorably.
These are two of the most generous people I've ever met in my entire life, and everybody kind of feeds off of that.
Many TV shows are seen by less than 1 million people and never gather an enthusiastic audience. The first hour of Space Command has been featured on my Mr. Sci-Fi YouTube channel and has been seen by over 2 million people with a 97% thumbs up. The second series in the Showrunners Network is Sweet Haven, which was inspired by my noticing that many of my friends who are older actors were more and more having to settle for roles where they play people coming down with dementia, people coming down with cancer, or funny grandpa or grandma. And this seemed like such a disservice because the people I know in the world who are older are still living committed lives, are still very much in the game, still active and creative. And I wanted to shine a spotlight on this and put the lie to this limited way of seeing older people. So in Sweet Haven, a bioengineered disease kills everyone in the world under 60, and the people 60 and above have to figure out how to save humanity when they themselves can't reproduce, and also find out who did this and why. Partnering with me on Sweet Haven is Rockne O'Bannon, who's currently executive producer on CBS's hit show Evil, as well as the creator of Farscape, Alien Nation, Defiance, Sequest, and Cult. Starring in Sweet Haven are Gates McFadden of Star Trek The Next Generation, Veronica Cartwright of The Birds, Alien, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Francois Chow of The Expanse, Barbara Bain of Space 1999 and Mission Impossible, Ethan Phillips of Star Trek Voyager, Marta Kristen of Lost in Space, plus Robert Picardo, James Hong, and Michael Harney of Space Command. The third series in the Showrunners Network is Rod Serling's After Twilight, which we're now locking down the rights on. Rod Serling was creator, host, main writer, and producer of both The Twilight Zone and Night Gallery. Twilight Zone is one of the most successful properties in the history of television, producing 156 episodes over 5 seasons from 1959 to 1964, then spinning off 3 sequel TV series, a movie, and hundreds of books, magazines, toys, and other products. And yet, despite this, many of Serling's most brilliant scripts either never got made or were written during the live era of television and haven't been seen in over 60 years. Unlike most other writers, Rod Serling lounged by his pool and dictated everything he wrote into a recorder. Scripts, letters, speeches, you name it. It was long thought that these recordings were lost, but hundreds of hours have just been discovered in a college archive. What we're proposing with Rod Serling's After Twilight is a new anthology series narrated by Rod Serling himself from these recordings and made up of brilliant Serling TV scripts that either were unmade for a variety of reasons or haven't been seen since the days of live television. In addition, we'll be shooting terrific unmade scripts by the original Twilight Zone writers and also by the top science fiction, fantasy, and horror writers of today. Teaming with me on Rod Serling's After Twilight is Emmy-winning executive producer, writer, and director Joseph Dougherty of Pretty Little Liars, Judging Amy, Saving Grace, and 30-something. Our fourth series in the Showrunners Network is Fugitive Space, a gritty science fiction adventure dealing with a military-industrial prison complex, set in a future where a prisoner exchange has been set up between Earth and an alien race. Our worst criminals are sent to their homeworld, which has a methane atmosphere, while theirs are sent here to Earth, where they can't breathe oxygen, so escape is impossible. Things escalate when 2 of the prisoners, a former dirty cop and a female helicopter pilot framed for a wartime massacre, discover the aliens have cut a secret deal with the human government to invade Earth and empty out all the ghettos, so the poor people will be forced to fight in an interstellar war that the aliens are losing. Partnering with me on Fugitive Space are Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby, creators and showrunners of The Expanse, and writers of Iron Man and Children of Men. Our 5th series is Magic Time, based on my best-selling trilogy of novels from HarperCollins, in which all the machines in the world stop working, magic comes back, and certain people turn into the archetypal mythical creatures they are by their true nature. Leading roles have been written in Magic Time for Christina Moses of A Million Little Things and Contagion, and Armin Shimmerman, star of Deep Space Nine and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, with creatures by Ian McCaig, famed designer of Star Wars Darth Maul and Queen Amidala and the Avengers Hulk and Thanos, plus much more. The 6th series in the Showrunners Network is Dante's Station, in which a divorced New York homicide cop is transferred along with his rebellious teenage daughter to an alien mining colony near the core of the galaxy. Co-creating Dante's Station with me is Emmy-winning writer-producer Michael Reeves of Star Trek The Next Generation, Sliders, Batman the Animated Series, and Gargoyles. Michael also writes the hugely popular Interworld series of books with renowned author Neil Gaiman. This is the way television should be made, a new model that favors the creators of the shows and the audience. My partners and I look forward to talking to you soon and answering any and all questions. Thank you so much for your interest and for being part of this amazing adventure.